Welcome to the Craftsman USA Ratchet History Project. Welcome back to the Craftsman USA Ratchet History Project! Woo! I'm very excited to create this video today because it was a video that almost wasn't meant to be. I like to wait and release the video when I have the full family. Unless, due to extreme scarcity, that is not a viable option. And in that instance, I have released some of the videos of the World War II era and the pre-World War II stuff that may be missing one or two pieces. And again, that's just due to the fact that they were made 1 or 2 years and they're really, really tough to get. And you'd think, well, why in the heck these? I know these. Why would these be hard to get? I see these all the time. Well, these are the round-head fine-tooth ratchets, or RHFT for short, if you want to look them up online. It's the common abbreviation. Hilariously, some of the ratchets in this family are really tough to get. And we'll get into the why and the dynamics of that in just a little bit. So we've got the round-head fine-tooth ratchets before you in our video that almost didn't make it. Let's talk about the general biography, and then we'll talk about the nuts and bolts of what's going on. So you see we got the standard sizes in my Vanna White style presentation hands. We've got their initial offering in 1970. Now this is within the Sears catalog. If you watch the expectations video, you may have heard me make a comment about how some of the time information is a little fishy. We're going to do the best that we can. We're going off the catalog, and that's what offered universal inclusiveness to customers versus specific test beds and early release dates. Okay? So at least in 1970, at least the 1/2 inch and the 3/8 were available. 1/4 inch, wah, wah, wah. No go. You kind of suffered the same fate as the quick release, where later 1/4 inch was offered. But 1/2 inch in 1970 cost $9.99, and 3/8 was $7.99. And 1/4 inch the following year fit the similar suit. It was like $6.99 or something like that. The last time that these were offered as a family was in 2008, and you're thinking, what? 38 years of availability, regardless of how they were available. Physical Sears catalog, through exclusive Craftsman tool catalogs as well. So you got that Sears catalog lasted until 1993. The Craftsman those tool catalogs lasted for many years, the physical ones, and then as time moved on, the early mid-2000s, then everything started going to digital. Even Craftsman Industrial, but these were never a Craftsman Industrial tool, so you'll never see that brand. The Overstock catalogs, whether they're physical or digital, and it just kind of goes on and on and on. These ratchets were everywhere, whether it was online or in some kind of special catalog. Unfortunately, that is as far as we go with these. So we'll talk more about that in just a second. So in 2008, you could conceivably buy a 1/2 inch round-head fine-tooth for $24.99. So basically, it went up by about 2.5 times in the 38 years, which things could be worse, but okay. 3/8 was $18.99, and 1/4 inch was $14.99. So there we have that. Were there flex heads? Hell yeah, there were. Just 2 under the Craftsman name, and that's it. So let me go ahead and show you those. We have the 3/8 round-head fine-tooth flex. This is the hardest one to get amongst this particular family for whatever reason. And then we also have the 1/2 inch Now this one was provided to us through, I guess, inter-toolbox loan, kind of like an interlibrary loan, from one toolbox to ours temporarily, courtesy of our friend at garagejournal.com. It's Farmall 450. Why farm half when you can farm all? Thanks a lot, man. I ended up communicating with this gentleman. I initially asked if I could buy it. I noticed that he had one, and he said, no, I like this tool too much. And, you know, I asked him flat out, I said, hey, you know, coming from a stranger, would it be possible if you would loan it to me for a small period of time so that I could complete this video? Because I didn't want this video to be in limbo forever. I wanted to get this thing done. And thankfully he was kind enough to do that. And Farmall, I'm going to go ahead and throw a bunch of goodies at you. We've got a hat, belt buckle, all sorts of other Craftsman related goodies for you from myself here at the project. Thank you so much. And I'm going to say thank you from the viewers on their behalf as well, because you really made this happen. So moving right along, the flex heads, at least through the catalog, made their introduction in 1978. Now, the one that Farmall has loaned us is a later rendition of what would be representative of that time frame, and that's A-OK. I'm just happy to have this one here so we can do this at all. So, in half-inch in 1978 was $19.99, and 3/8 was $14.99, and in 2008 their final appearance $33.99 for half-inch, and 3/8, whoop, my fingers are a little messed up there, was $23.99. Let's go ahead and I'll show you the physical numbers, their specific designations, because sometimes in these videos I don't always do that. Fear not. I have completed the descriptions for every single one of these videos. Finally, it only took me like, what, 5 months? But in the description, if you click below, or more like below here, expand that description box and you're going to see an abridged version of this video talking about the history, the tooth count, part numbers, and product numbers, if they were available. So let's go ahead and just take a look real quick. Let's look at the big dog that's been loaned to us. We got ourselves the half-inch flex at 44983. Half-inch flex taking a seat. And this is a very early representation of the 3/8 flex roundhead fine tooth. And you'll see that the markings on this are quite a bit different than the one we just looked at. This is a forged in USA, patent pending. This is indicative of the Easco stamping, and they carried that tradition on even after Easco was absorbed by Danaher. So 3/8 flex, we got 42794. And then we've got standard half-inch roundhead fine tooth, and even more interesting still, we've got all this blah 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 blah. Forged in USA, we got 44987 for the standard half-inch. 3/8. Even stranger still, you're like, what the heck? I'm seeing all sorts of different kinds of things here. Yes, you are. Forged in USA, and this one doesn't have a product number, but we're in luck. I have another one that does, and that is 43788. And then we've got the 1/4 inch little baby, and this one follows its brother, but fear not, I've got another variant that is 43178. There we go. So, you know, we just looked through a small gambit of these ratchets right now. You're seeing all sorts of different markings. Kind of like I alluded to in regards to the quick release video, a gentleman named Jim C. was doing a type study discussing all the different brandings that were on the raised panel ratchets, generation 2 through 3, I think, is what he was specifically focusing on, if memory serves me right. Here at the Craftsman USA Ratchet History Project, I did not want to specifically focus on that because it would already expand the collection of Craftsman ratchets that I have into astronomical levels. I don't remember how many specific types there were within each generation. I would encourage you to go onto GarageJournal.com and explore that yourself. But kind of like I alluded to in Quick Release, the brandings are changing as the product's being released because initially they don't have the patents aren't necessarily pushed through yet. They submitted them, but they haven't gone through the whole patent office just yet. So they had permission to produce, but that was as far as it got. So this guy right here, from my understanding, would be the earliest rendition of that. And actually, you know what? I think that that would be second place. I think the earliest rendition is this set, and then the numbers came after. Yeah, so these didn't even have any numbers yet. I know that there are versions of these where it just says Forged in the USA, V, and it says patent pending. So this would be, I believe, step 2, and then step 3, and then, you know what? This is kind of why I didn't want to focus on this too much, because it's kind of, we're already doing enough accounting as it is with the project. Why do more? I'm already biting off a lot as it is. So, as I kind of alluded to, the quarter inch appeared in 1971. It was $5.99, not $6.99, like I just said. Wow, where you going, little buddy? And, you know, strangely, round head, fine tooth flex heads didn't make their appearance with the rest of the gang, with standard sizes. They weren't into the catalog until 1978. I will tell you flat out that I actually have held in my hands a 3/8 that its marking was similar to this guy right here, where it actually had the 1978 stamping on it, or 71 stamping on it, I should say. So, you know, was Sears testing the waters, you know, in certain markets for certain periods of time? I can't really say. You know, even with my conversations with different Sears representatives over the phone, while I was still doing that, nobody really has a clear answer anymore. That, unfortunately, a lot of the people that were involved with that are long retired or have passed away, unfortunately. Or I don't have access to the ones that would know. So that's just speculation. So what's going on with the round head fine tooth? Why do people love these things so freaking much? Well, half inch has a 45 tooth gear, and it offers 3 tooth engagement per side per pawl, and there are 2 of them. So the way it works is that if you look at the teardown video, you've got 2 pawls that kind of shift about their axis like this, depending upon what direction you engage. And you have 2 pawls acting, 2 independent pawls acting together to offer maximum grip around the radius of the circle gear that's basically bore into the ratchet body. It offers 4 degrees of arc swing, and that's for both of the pawls working together. 3/8 has 41 tooth, and quarter inch has 35 tooth. So obviously you're losing a little bit, but how much? Not a lot at all, because the difference between half inch and quarter inch, for example, who has the least number of teeth, is 1 degree, which is negligible. I don't think, you know, people are going to be rolling over their grave or staying up at nights with cold sweats. Oh my God, you know, it's got 1 degree arc swing loss. I don't think I could make it. It's awesome, no matter what. So these are made of molybdenum steel with a nickel chrome plating. It offers high corrosion, tarnish, and wear resistance. They're drop forged to increase strength at points of stress. Then heat treated, oil quenched, and tempered to uniformly harden and prevent interior soft spots. Rock on, we've been saying that for a long time. The patent was originally designated under Easco Tools, long before they had merged with Danaher Corporation. And per Sears' description, these ratchets combine operating precision and convenience with super strength and long life. And they, like the quick release ratchets, were a part of the super tough steel line. These had a reputation of being extremely reliable and tough. And some say, like the quick release also, they never lubricated the mechanism since buying them, and that is insane. Almost. I mean, obviously your operational efficiency drops the longer you go like that, and obviously the probability for wear and failure increases logarithmically almost the longer you do that. However, that is still really incredible. It says a lot about this tool. Repair kits, per my interview with Sears, for these ratchets were expensive for Sears to have. Due to the complexity of the drive, most stores don't carry many, if at all. And I almost wonder if that's the reason why Sears elected to keep these in the catalog. And if you were a customer, you would you'd have to go in and wait for that repair kit to come in, because I don't know. So we know that these were in the Sears catalog and offered online and other catalogs during its entire 38-year run. The Gen 3 raised panel, aka quick release, had a 26-year physical store presence. Some people anecdotally have said that they've seen these in stores. That may be likely because the customers returned them or something got kooky. I'm not saying it hasn't happened, but people have told me that they have seen them in stores. Albeit, the people that I spoke with said they hadn't seen them in the stores in like 20 or 30 years. So maybe Sears was trying to test the waters again. And while the Craftsman and Easco variants of these ratchets are defunct, unfortunately, the Allen and KD variants are still made in the USA through Danaher. And I can tell you, up until about 6 months ago, in my area, I was seeing the Allen variants of these still sold at Fleet Farm. So if you love these things, these lovable bastards, and you still want to try and experience it, you still have a shot, which is awesome. So what does a variant of the roundhead fine tooth look like? Well, I have some of the Easco variants. I went ahead and to the garage and brought one out so we can go ahead and take a look at it. We're only going to look at the one because this is the Craftsman Ratchet History Project, not any other brand, so I just wanted to keep this as abridged as possible. But this is my Easco 3/8 Flex. And in my opinion, there are some advantages to having this. I think that the knurled grip gives you some extra grab when you really need to dig in there when you're working. I can say that I can see some advantages to the thinner, more rectangular style grip. There isn't really these are just cosmetic things going on. Fundamentally it's still the same tool. But Easco is essentially the mother of these ratchets, and if you hunt, you can find those still. They're a cheaper alternative to trying to hunt these two flex heads down, I can tell you that much, because the flex heads command some pretty serious dinero. So if you still want to try and experience some of the flex head goodness with the roundhead fine tooth, I'd encourage you to look up the Eascos, or like I said before, the Allen and KD variants. They're just as good. It's the same philosophies. It's just a slightly different package. However, you will not get quick release because that was dedicated to Sears at the time. However, if you like to experience quick release, all the kits are interchangeable. So if you've got a quick release roundhead fine tooth mechanism pack, slap it into one of those ratchets. It'll work just fine. Speaking of repair kits, let's do what we usually do. I've got a 3/8 repair kit. It's kind of hard to see, unfortunately, because that refurbished label's kind of stuck in the middle there. I'd say it's 43436. Refer to the description below if you'd like to know all the repair kit numbers for all of these. This is what a later repair kit looked like. Doesn't seem like you get a whole lot, realistically, but that's not that big of a deal. I already went ahead and opened up this vintage, repair kit for the 1/2 inch, and this is, the repair kit is 44684, and the instructions are literally as simple as that. Please refer to my teardown video and see that. Let's go ahead and take a look at the mechanism, as it is minty fresh, albeit this one's a little dusty. So it's pretty dark. You get the retaining ring, there's a retention plate, and some bar retainers, and there's the dual pawl. There's one, there's two. Expensive for Sears to have available for warranty, and that's basically it as far as those are concerned. Regrettably, I don't have the 1/4 inch. I'm not going to kill myself over trying to hunt one of those puppies down. They seem to be difficult to find, and I think you get the gist. Let's go ahead and take a look at 1970s page from the Sears catalog. This is part of the Sears Best. Sears kind of had that good, better, best philosophy back in the day. They talk more about how they would do tightening tests 500,000 times, so on and so forth. And there's that combines operating precision and convenience with super strength and long life. Yeah, it's pretty incredible. So sold right along with the quick release. We got some patent information. Huzzah! Let's go ahead and show you that. So this is patent number 3467231, and this is the mechanism for the roundhead fine tooth. And I think after that, it's all the descriptions. I'll leave that up to you to read. And here we go. This one is 3532013, and this is the quick release addition to the fine tooth roundhead mechanism. So in the previous patent, this was just a flat space, but now they're integrating quick release, and for every addition that you make for your patents or your design, you got to make another patent for it, otherwise somebody can copy it. So there you have it, guys. We've gone through all we can talk about in regards to the roundhead fine tooth ratchets. Again, thank you Farmall 450 very much for making this possible. I apologize for all of those that have been waiting for this video. It's not like we have a huge following or anything like that, but you know, people maintain communication with me through the messages, and I appreciate that. But yeah, I mean, realistically, all these months we were waiting on this one. And for good reason. When people get these, they want to keep them. They keep them for life. And despite the fact that these were offered for 38 years, you know, depending upon, you know, I realistically don't know how many are in circulation, if they would be as, if there'd be as many as quick release or, you know, as the other ratchets, but people love these. They're rugged, tough as hell, and much loved. And I think that, if anything, that's what drives up the price and the desirability of these particular ratchets, regardless of which size you got. So thanks to everybody for your patience. Thanks again, Farm All. These are the Craftsman round head fine tooth ratchets. We finally did it.